Hello. Oh, I hope everyone can hear me. I'm going to go live on Instagram as well. This is my first time going live in, I guess, ever on my computer on Facebook. So this is crazy. This is so different. Hi, everyone on Instagram. All right, I think I'm live on Instagram and live on Facebook, but Facebook Live looks so different than what I remember. I did it I did it like a year ago, but you know what? It's fine because at least it's working on Instagram. Thanks, Instagram, for making this easy. Anyway, my name is Paige Gardner, and I am a co-founder and editor of Dandelion Revolution Press. We published this anthology last March, so a few months ago. It's already, time is just flying lately. So here it is. The Secrets We Keep is the anthology that we published. This is actually our second anthology. Our first anthology was Not Quite As You Were Told. Um, Sorry, I just want to make sure everything's going well on the Facebook Live. I can't tell. I can't tell. Anyway, so our first anthology was Not Quite As You Were Told. It was published in March of 2020, and The Secrets We Keep was published in March 2021. So it's obviously been a crazy year, and we hope everyone's feeling safe and everything's going well. But this is a great anthology, and I just thought I would pop on to both Facebook and Instagram Live to read some of my story from it. My story is called The Keeper. And hi everyone. Okay, I'm starting to see some people join. Hi guys, thanks for joining. Thanks for bearing with me as I work tech issues. But yeah, so my story is called The Keeper, and it is it's actually a pretty short story. I'm going to read just like a section starting from the beginning to about like the middle or so. I'm not going to read the entire thing, but basically the story came from, hi Sarah, came from a first sentence challenge, which authors and writers out there might know. A first sentence challenge is just when you're given a first sentence and you are allowing your mind to just run free, and you know, a lot of imagination is involved with first sentence challenges. Don't take yourself too seriously. So the first sentence that I got, or that I found online when I was just browsing the internet for some inspiration, was I was 7 years old when I started collecting secrets. And so, of course, that's the first sentence of my story tonight. So let me just flip to my story. Again, it's called The Keeper. Hey, everyone joining. See you guys more and more. And apparently, you can hear me and see me on Facebook. Thank goodness. They totally changed how it works, and that was really stressful. Okay, so once again, my name is Paige Gardner. I'm a co-founder and editor of Dandelion Revolution Press. We published The Secrets We Keep this spring, and I'm going to read some of that story, and then feel free to leave any comments, questions, anything you want, and I'll either respond to them now or respond to them after the video. Thanks. I was 7 years old when I started collecting secrets. It wasn't on purpose. I didn't know what I was doing. All I know was when Evan leaned in and said, "I like you very much, Emmy, and you can't tell a single soul." Words tumbled out of his mouth with a pinkish glow around. He didn't seem to notice, as it was at that very moment he smacked his chapped lips against my lower cheek. His breath smelled like peanut butter, and when he pulled away, his face grew like bright red like the summer sky at sunset. Giggling, he leapt out of the tree house, the boards creaking with the shift of his weight. Evan disappeared into his home without a single look back. The peach-colored words hung there for a moment, right in front of me, before they began to float upward like balloons that had just been set free. My hands reached before my brain could stop them. The words squirmed around inside my palms like lightning bugs, and I stuffed them into the pocket of my jean shorts. Carefully, I climbed down the ladder. when I reached When I landed on the freshly cut grass, I was surprised to see Evan had returned. Instinctively, I kept my hand atop my pocket, afraid he'd notice the fabric moving and take his words back. "My mom says she'll take us to Dairy Queen," Evan grinned, showcasing his missing front teeth. We were next-door neighbors and the same age, which is all one needs at 7 years old to be best friends. We were together so often that we failed to be seen as separate people. We moved as one, played as one, talked as one. Emmy and Evan spent far too much time in that treehouse. Emmy and Evan want to go to the movies. Emmy and Evan are missing again. Has anyone seen them? But on that day, I felt separate. I was just Emmy. I looked down at my light up sneakers and shuffled my feet. Well, what about what you just said? Mumbled. Oh, that? Evan waved his hand and giggled all over again. It was a secret, just for you. He swung his arms back and forth. I feel better having said it out loud. But I didn't. My stomach felt flipped upside down or maybe turned inside out. The words were still jumbled in my pocket. I pressed down harder on the fabric. I have to go home. Evan's smile disappeared. No ice cream? Not today, I said, running into my house. Through the living room, past my mother, no running inside Emmy, up the rickety staircase, into my bedroom before I thrust myself into the back of my closet. All the while, the words swirled and swam. I kept my allowance change in a mason jar hidden far in the back. After hunting around in the dark for it, my hands found the smooth glass surface. I pulled it out and dumped the change onto the hardwood floor. The coins clinked and clattered as they spilled throughout the room, and I poured in the words to fill the jar's empty space. I soon learned there were two kinds of secrets. Some secrets fit just fine in the jar in my closet, tucked behind my baby albums and forgotten Halloween costumes. Ones like when Evan told me he was really the one who broke his father's camera and blamed it on his sister, or my brother's whispered confession that he stole Mom's cigarettes. Harmless. Silly. These secrets were bright oranges and teals and Kelly green. They intermixed together in the back of my closet, casting a warm glow into the room that only I could see. The other secrets needed to be handled with more care, hidden immediately where no one else could find them. This happened to be my book bag. That was an accident. It was just because I was wearing it home on the last day of third grade when the first secret of this kind was revealed. Evan had been quiet, which wasn't like him at all. So, I asked. I wish I never did. Dark red words shot out of Evan's mouth the second the tears rolled down his freckled cheeks. I didn't want to keep the words, looking as if they were blood-soaked, but taking the secrets always made the other person feel better. So I reached out with a grimace and shoved them into the bottom of my backpack. My fingertips burned slightly, and my mouth asked where, but my eyes begged, don't tell. Evan rolled up his sleeve to reveal a large blue and purple bruise that wrapped all the way around his arm. He laughed, a breathy laugh that sounded more like a sob. When I didn't laugh with him, quieted. We turned the corner onto our street, and there was a large truck outside Evan's home. Big, muscular men walked in and out with boxes. Evan sniffed. We're leaving, he said, before I could even process enough to ask the question. We? My mom, sister, and me. We can't live with him anymore. I nodded as if I understood, but really, I couldn't imagine Evan's world, just as I couldn't imagine a world without Evan. We moved a few towns over, and that was the end of Emmy and Evan. But his secret stayed with me, the bottom of my book. As I maneuvered my way through middle school and high school, a few other secrets joined Evan's. A collection was formed, one I never wanted. The maroon words that spilled from my brother as he told me he was taking these little round pills and I had better not tell Mom and Dad. Into the book bag. The stormy gray words that encompassed me when a classmate whispered with nervous giggles that she was hooking up with our biology teacher in exchange for a higher grade. Into the book bag. Or the Tuesday night I stayed up late working on an AP history project and my mother stumbled in. She said she was returning from a work meeting, but the hickey on her neck said differently. I confronted her about it. Miraculously, she admitted it, stroking my hair and saying, Emmy, I'm so sorry, over and over again. I led her to the couch where she passed out as soon as her head hit the pillow. Her secret loomed in the kitchen, and if it had eyes, they would have burned a hole into me. I clenched my jaw and thought of alternatives. Finally, I stuffed it into my book bag to rid the sight. Those words were blacker than. By the end of high school, a few things had fallen apart. My parents' marriage, my brother's future, and my 9-year-old book bag. I carried it everywhere, not even taking it off once I reached my seat in class. My textbooks hugged to my chest, my book bag resting on my back. This was the way I navigated school, navigated life. Classmates teased me, asking why I didn't just use my book bag. How was I supposed to tell them I didn't want my calculus textbook rubbing against my mother's affair? Shakespeare and Dickens intermixed with my brother's addiction? My father bought me a brand new book bag for college, sturdy and vibrant and untarnished. Some name brand he must have been swindled into buying at the mall. When he gifted it to me, I didn't say a word. I slung my old book bag to the front of my torso, wrapping my arms tightly around the sack. My father sighed. It was no use. I was chosen as a secret keeper, and I could never give up my bag filled with the most important ones. If I wasn't there to protect them, where would they go? So I'm gonna stop there. Thanks for all the love. I could see it on like the side of my eye. Um, oh, and I'm seeing some comments over on Instagram, a few on Facebook. Guys, thanks for listening. That's so nice. What inspired me to write this story is author Scarlett Wyvern asking on Instagram. Oh, I see the hearts. Hearts. What inspired me to write this story is just looking online, finding a prompt, and then as soon as I saw the sentence, I was 7 years old when I started collecting secrets. I just got my notebook, wrote down that sentence, and then it like the rest of the story just poured out of me right away. I couldn't even write it fast enough. I think I finished probably in 2 days, maybe. Um, so it was really great. It was just all at once. I just got a text from my mom that asked if I'm doing the live reading. Yes, mom, I am. I don't think she's watching. Anyway, yeah, so it just like poured out of me all at once, and I was really easily able to visualize this girl just collecting secrets, plucking them out of the air, and keeping them in a book bag, and how that kind of would burden you, and the way that keeping secrets does burden people. And I thought it was very interesting to play around with the idea of they're not even her secrets, yet she's being weighed down with them throughout the whole story. So for those who missed it, thanks guys for the love. Ah, my mom's here. On Facebook. Hi, Mom. For those who missed, I missed my train of thought. I'm all over the place. Anyway, if anyone has any comments or questions, I'm just gonna hang out for a little bit on Facebook and Instagram. So I'm loving all the love from you guys. So yeah, The Secrets We Keep was Dandelion Revolution Press's second anthology, and Not Quite as You Were Told was the anthology from the first year in 2020, 2021. We do think of them as sisters, and I love holding them together because they look like sisters. But each of them features such great stories, dynamic female characters, genres all over the place. And it's really an honor to publishing these stories, to have my stories in this collection, in both of these collections. This one I have The Woman in the Cotton Candy House, which was so much fun to write. And then this one I have The Keeper, which was equally as fun to write, but a little bit heavier. And so, thank you so much for just listening to this reading. And I'll definitely make sure to save the videos and post it on our on our social media accounts. So if anyone has any questions or lasting thoughts or anything, Haley over on Facebook said 2 days with a shocked face. Yeah, sometimes when I get the inspiration for a story, I'm like obsessive until I finish it and I just won't think about anything else. Then other times I will write a little bit of a story and then go like a year and a half in between and then finish it. Like, so it's one or the other. It's never just a normal process. So Haley over on Facebook is asking, what was it like publishing during a pandemic for both? And what did you learn being forced to work only, sorry, what did you learn being forced to only work virtually? So great question. Great question, Haley. With Not Quite As You Were Told, it was awesome because we got to do everything in person because it was published March 2020, which meant we did all the work fall 2019 into winter 2020. So we were just naive. We had no idea what was ahead of us. I think back to that time and I'm just like in awe that we were all gathered like March 1st, 2020, and we were, doing all the editing that day. So that was so much fun because it was really just a group of friends hanging out and having a blast. And then once we published it, we couldn't really do any live events or anything. So that was the bummer. But it really pushed us out of our comfort zone because I did my first virtual reading back in April 2020. And that was when virtual was still such a new world that I was navigating. So that was this experience. And then, of course, we were crazy enough to think, hey, let's publish another anthology. Why not? So that was crazy. We relied on Google Docs heavily. Google Docs is amazing. this isn't sponsored by Google, which it was. But yeah, Google Docs was incredible. That's how we did a lot of our editing. Google Sheets, like all of that. Did so many virtual calls as everyone did in 2020. So yeah, we published this completely virtually, which is incredible. I think we had one in-person meeting like in the summertime outside spread out. But really this one came together virtually. But that pushed us out of our comfort zone again because we were able to like find an artist for the cover who didn't live in Philadelphia. It wasn't one of us. They're actually from Texas. They're named Elephants and Trains. Um, so we were able to just kind of, like expand the world as everyone in 2020 learned. Like you don't have to just stay in your own little corner of the world. Like there is a bigger world out there that you can easily access through like video calls and Google and all of that. Author Scarlett Wyvern on Instagram says, "Love how all your stories have an underlying message of hope." Thanks, Scarlett. I do not intend that when I write them. I think it's just my own personal personality coming out a little bit. So I think I am a little bit hopeful inside. So that's what a lot of my stories end up having. They're a little bit sad, but they're also a little bit, if that makes sense for those who've read my stories. And Renee over on Facebook said, "Will you be able to attend slash sell at a book fair or anywhere in person?" Fingers crossed. Really, we're looking at some book fairs, just throughout 2021, 2022. We would love to do a launch party as well because that was something when we started the press that we were all envisioning was having this great celebration and launch that never got to happen. So we were like, hey, hopefully this year we can do a big launch party for both of our collections and just have friends and community members gather and talk and drink and sign books and sell books and just have a good time. So that's on the list, but a book fair is definitely something that I'm super interested in. I just love talking to people about books, about stories. It would be really great to be able to talk with people in person about it. So fingers crossed, everyone send good vibes about potentially going to a book fair this year. Message us if you're putting together a book fair because we'll definitely want to go. um, Nancy over on Facebook said, "Good job. Thank you." All right. Any other last comments or questions? Seeing a burst of hearts. This is, again, sorry for anyone who was there at the beginning. I had some tech issues. Facebook changed the way they do lives, and it's so different. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. All right. So we got a question on Facebook. Can you spoil anything about new things for DRP? I can't spoil too much because we're so in the beginning of stages of next projects, but I will spoil that we are thinking of next projects. I don't think we're going to be just like a two and done deal. I think all of us over on the DRP team is thinking we just really love championing stories and really good stories and meeting authors. We had a big virtual meeting with all of the authors of the collection about a month ago. That was just so much cool. And that was just so much cool. That was just so cool. And that really drilled in the idea of like why we do what we do and why we publish these stories. So that really lit a fire in us again after the difficulty of trying to publish virtually and not doing launch parties and all of that. I think we still very much have a lot of energy and passion for these projects. And so we definitely are talking about future projects. I just can't give you too many details yet because I don't know them myself. So, so stay tuned. Hopefully, we have some things to share with everyone. This is wild doing lives on different devices. Can you guys just see my eyes darting? And Renee said, "I love the themes of all the stories in the book." I do too. I'm obviously biased since I had to read them and publish them, but I really think this collection features so many different genres and so many different characters. You never really know what you're going to read. So it's really and how can people get the new book? Any links? Yes. So you can get this book and our first book, or you can just learn more about us. You don't have to buy anything. You can go over to dandelionrevolutionpress.com. You'll find our origin story. You'll see some blog posts. You'll see links to the book. You do not have to get it from Amazon. We have it on like Barnes and Noble and I think Target and some other distributors. So dandelionrevolutionpress.com is where you'll find all the information. And that's also where we'll update if we have more information about a new project, or we're doing call for submissions. So if you're a writer, definitely frequently check back, follow our social media pages, as we'll definitely update you there about future projects. Once again, dandelionrevolutionpress.com. And I think that's everything for me tonight. Thank you so much to those who joined on Instagram, those who joined on Facebook, those who commented, those who sent hearts throughout the whole reading. I really appreciate it. I think I'm a third author to read, and I think we have a few more who are going to be reading for us. So um, please watch Haley Frerich's reading from I think a few weeks ago, and Carrie Troutman's reading was published or posted I think on Friday, and they're both definitely worth watching. So check it out. Sarah saying love you. I'm saying love you back. Thanks for watching. Wow. All right. Thanks everyone. Now I have to figure out how to end these. Bye. Bye.